everybody, Mike Iaconelli back out in the shop with a new video for you today. And in today's shop, we're going to try to answer one of the most popular questions I've ever heard in all of bass fishing. And that question is, if the fishing is ultra tough, the fishing's just brutally tough, and you only had one lure to pick, what would that lure be? Man, that is a difficult question to answer. And the reason that question's so hard to answer is there's so many variables in fishing, right? Okay, the fishing's tough. Yes, the fishing's tough. It's tough because there's a million other dudes fishing. There's a cold front. It's hot, high pressure, wind. Like, okay, the fishing's tough. But I only have one lure to pick? That's tough because of the variables, guys, right? Is it clear water? Is it dirty water? Is it stained water? Is it a river? Is it a pond? Is it a reservoir? Is there current? Is there no current? Is there grass? Is there what? The variables are endless. Even so, I'm going to answer that question for you today, guys. And that is, if the fishing's tough and I only had one bait to pick, guys, this has never been easier to answer. I'm going to pick a soft stick bait. I've been doing this professionally for 30 years, guys, and I'm going to tell you, if everything else fails and the fishing's tough, this lure is almost 99% a guarantee to catch you some fish. I don't know if I could say that about any other lure, right? You know, just the versatility and the predictability of a soft stick bait catching a bass no matter what, right? And it really is that kind of lure. I can remember when the lure first came out, you know, and when this soft stick bait first came out years and years and years ago, I looked at it and I'm like, it doesn't really look like any. Like, what does that look like? Like, dude, it looks like a Sharpie. Like, what's that supposed to imitate, a Sharpie? But the simplicity and the subtle action of this bait, I think, are the two reasons why, if you had one lure to pick when the fishing's tough, this has got to be it, okay? The simplicity of the bait and the subtle action of this bait make it a winner. And again, that breaks all those barriers. The tough fishing, deep, shallow, mid-depth, cold, warm, hot water, muddy water, clean, fishing pressure, high pressure, wind. It breaks all those variables because it's so simple and that action is so subtle and unique, okay? The other reason I'm picking a soft jerk bait, soft stick bait, is the amount of ways you could rig it with a very limited amount of tackle, right? When we talk about other lure categories, you have to have specialty rods. You have to have specialty line. You have to have certain conditions. Guys, this thing, I can throw it on spinning, casting, mono, fluoro, braid, braid to fluoro. I could throw it on a lot of different options, and I could rig it a lot of different ways. Because that's such a generic soft plastic shape, the rigging options are honestly endless. And we could do a long, long video and give you 20 or 30. But I'm going to give you my top 5 ways to rig a soft stick bait that in any condition, when the fishing's tough, I guarantee 99.9% you're going to get a bite. Okay, before I get into those riggings, I do want to mention that you can keep these soft stick bait selection ultra simple, guys, from a standpoint of size and a standpoint of color, okay? This isn't the kind of technique where you need a couple $1,000s to get started. Literally 3 sizes, 3 or 4 colors, and a limited amount of terminal tackle. We're going to see that in a second. And you're ready to catch those fish, okay? So in general, guys, 4-inch stick bait. I love a 4-inch stick bait. I'll show you that one. And that little one to me is the go when the fishing is ultra tough. If the water is crystal clear, if you need to really finesse a little more, I love the 4-inch. The other time I go to the 4-inch is when they're eating is small, right? When their forage that they're actually eating is small. That's a good one. The next one, and this is the one if I had to pick one of these 3 sizes, if I could only have one, it would be the 5-inch, okay? 5-inch soft stick bait. Little bit longer, little bit fatter than the 4-inch, but really a good all-around size to mimic a lot of different forage types. Last but not least, guys, I do carry these with me. And when I get into places where the forage is bigger, or I know there's bigger bass around, I do like the 6-inch, okay? So real easy on sizes, 4, 5, and 6. If I had to pick one, it's the 5-inch. By the way, these are the Berkley Power Bait Generals. The reason I like this stick bait versus a lot of the other ones out there is the smell, right? We've got that amazing power bait smell. They're going to hone in on it, and they're going to hold it a little bit longer. Color? Guys, I pulled out just kind of 3 of the most basic colors out there. And the good news is that's all you need with a soft stick bait, right? I like something super dark, black or black and blue flake. Really, for me, that's a dirty water, heavily stained water, or dark conditions. Evening, early morning, at night, I like the dark. On the other side of the spectrum, my natural translucence, green pumpkin, watermelon, right? I like the green pumpkins and the watermelons, that more translucent base colors when the water's clear or the sky conditions are bright, right? So we've got super dark colors, super natural translucent colors, and then right in the middle, guys, is a combination of both of those, right? So June bug, red bug, candy apple, some combination of dark and light, with a little lamination or a little metal flake in it, okay? So I keep the colors extremely simple. So soft stick bait, one bait to choose if I had one bait to pick under ultra tough conditions. All right, I mentioned this before, endless amount of ways to rig the soft stick bait, but I'm going to give you 5. And the great thing about this is, so if you had one bag, a bag of 30 black and blue 5-inch soft stick baits, you'd only have to spend another $20 or $30 on this terminal tackle, and you could fish that one bait 5 different ways, okay? Depending on where the fish are at, right? Depending on where they are in the water column and what kind of cover they're around, all right? Let's start with, for sure, one of my favorites, and that is a weightless Wacky rig, okay? You could fish a 4, 5, or 6 like this. We're basically going to take it's kind of a drop shot, octopus style Wacky hook. This one happens to have just a little weed guard on it. And we're literally going to hook that soft stick bait in the middle. When we do that, weightless, it falls ultra slow. And this is how it falls, guys. Ready? As it falls, that line and hook pull it down. And these 2 arms just shake just like that as it falls. It's got that inchworming effect. The weightless Wacky is great under shallower water conditions. Fish that are in 0 to 10 foot, they really, honestly, guys, can't help themselves when they see this helpless soft stick bait inchworming down real slow, okay? So Wacky style, number 1. Number 2, and keep in mind, the other great thing about all 5 of these is if I had that one bag of soft stick baits, I can change. As the different things are changing in front of me, I just change these different rigging techniques, okay? Number 2, Texas style, okay? And I can fish this bait Texas style, weightless, all the way to a giant, big, heavy punch weight, punching it through mats, okay? Basically a Texas rig is a bobber stop, a weight stop, whatever weight, bullet weight you want, and then your favorite hook. I can tell you that for the 5-inch size, guys, a 3 or 4-aught worm style, offset worm style hook is what I use. This is a Berkeley Fusion. But I generally, when I'm fishing it, weight it Texas style, like a little bit lighter weight, 3/16 up to a 3/8. I love the 1/4 ounce. And when I fish this through cover, wood, rock, logs, grass, I get this unpredictable glide as it falls, right? Just a gliding fall that's sort of different every time you pop it up off the bottom, okay? The other thing, look at how streamlined it is when you fish it Texas style. So that means if it had like skirt or arms or legs, it's grabbing the cover. Because it's streamlined, even grass, look guys, just goes right in and out of the cover. Real easy, okay? Rigging method number 2 for a soft stick bait, Texas style. Rigging method number 3, love this one. Out of the 5 that I'm going to show you, this is probably the least talked about because this bait is so associated with like a straight tail worm that people forget about this. But number 3 is rigging it on a shaky head. Okay, I love it on a shaky head. It's like the Texas rig, right? This particular shaky head is allowing that bait to stay Texas style. It's like this, but the big difference is how it sits on the bottom. So when I fish it, it has that same unpredictable glide that has. But when that shaky head hits the bottom, here's how it sits on the bottom. Nose down, poof, tail up, and when you shake your rod tip, that tail, that soft stick bait's just quivering in place, right? Looks a lot like an eel, a crawfish, a bluegill feeding on the bottom, right? Has a lot of those looks to it. And because it stands on an angle on the bottom, it really grabs their attention, okay? All right, guys, same bait. Look, we're at number 4 now. Same bait, 5-inch soft stick bait. Now I'm going to go to one that is definitely a killer as I get deeper, okay? So weightless 0 to 10, Texas and shaky head, you can go as deep as 20. But this one really starts to get good deep, and this is Nico or Neko style. And basically in this one, guys, it's real easy. We're going to use an O-ring in the middle to bottom 1/4 of the bait. We're going to use that drop shot octopus style hook. We're going to rig it in line, not perpendicular. Okay, so the difference between Wacky was in the middle, but the hook is perpendicular to that bait. Now we're gonna hook this one in line or parallel to the bait, okay? And the last thing for the Nico rig, I'm just gonna use a little nail weight. 32nd of an ounce up to maybe 3/16, but a 1/16 ounce is perfect. We're going to jam that in the fat end of that bait. And this bait's going to fall erratically, once it hits the bottom, just like that shaky head, look, that weight is contacting the bottom as we shake. The top's staying up. And every time that little weight hits, it's putting off a little debris, making a little sound too. It's hitting off that rock, making a little sound. The hookup ratio on this, because look at the hook. It's in the upward position. It's exposed. When that fish eats it, the hookup percentage is unbelievable. Really, really like this, especially when I'm fishing a little deeper. And if I'm using electronics to target fish, this is really, really good. So number 4 is Nico. And then last but not least, guys, and this one, and again, all these terminal tackle pieces, they're not a lot of money. They're easy. You can fish them all with the same bait. Number 5 is on a Ned rig head or on a jig head. A long time ago when I was young, they used to call this jig worming. But now it's more known as Ned style fishing. And we could literally take that same stick bait and just thread it on a Ned head. Sometimes I'll bite a little bit of it off, make it about 3.5 inches. If I get in ultra clear water, ultra finicky fish, smallmouth, spotted bass, Ned rigging's a great system to fish it. So this one has a little bit of that unpredictable fall, but once it gets on the bottom, it literally sits on the bottom and scoots along the bottom in a straight line, right? Shaky head was like that. Nico was pecking. When I thread that soft stick bait on a Ned rig, it's just coming straight across the bottom. Dude, that looks like a crawfish. That looks like a goby. That looks like a stickleback, a minnow or something just scooting along the bottom. Very, very natural, very just subtle motion of that tail as it moved. The one thing on your jig head, on your Ned head, make sure that the line tie is 90 degrees. That's going to allow that bait to stay straight, okay? So guys, same bait, the toughest fishing day you've ever experienced, and you could only bring one lure. It's got to be a soft stick bait. It's got to be. 4, 5, or 6 inch with a very limited amount of terminal tackle. And you can fish this thing from a foot of water to 30 feet of water. You could fish it in clean water to dirty water, current to non-current, winter, summer, spring, and fall. If I had one bait, that bait right there will do it all. I hope you enjoyed this shop video talking about the best bait for ultimate, super tough fishing. If I had one bait, soft stick bait. If you like these videos, if you like the information you're hearing, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. When you become a subscriber, you're going to get all sorts of perks, and we'll send you notifications on new content dropping every single week. If you're already a subscriber, do me a favor. Tell your buddies, tell your fishing friends about the channel. It's Mike Iaconelli Fishing on YouTube. We're here to hopefully help you learn a couple things and catch more fish. Soft stick bait for the win. Bye.